What's up, y'all? I'm Fillmore, and this is OG Interviews.
Tell us about your particular style and sound of music. Describe it for us.
My music, the way that I put it together, it's truly just everything that's inspired me throughout my life. You grow up with two different radio stations in a small town of Wildwood, Missouri. You got a pop station, you got a country station. You also have, my parents that my mom obviously, grew up with Gypsy Kings and just all these different influences over here. And then I have, I got Hank Williams over here, and it's from my dad. And then, my stepdad was an 80s DJ in college. So you have all these like
Oh,
mixes
that's
of
cool.
music. And so as I built my sound, over the years, I've kind of been unapologetically myself. My whole brand is anything but typical. Though my core fan group is that's what they go by, anything but typical. People have the tattoo; it's like a thing. And for me, I've really stuck with that. And I'm not doing it to be an outsider. I'm just purposely putting my style of music into an area, and you can decide what it is. For me, it's pop country. For me, it pushes genre limits in both areas. For me, it's just unapologetically who I am, and there's a lot of Latin flair stuff in there. We've seen glimpses of that in the past. There's more of that coming up, but yeah, it's really just taking my experience as a songwriter, everything that I've built in Nashville for the last 14 years, and mixing that with a little bit of Miami recently as well. So just everything that influences me is what this album kind of feels like, and that pop country genre with a little hints of Latin in a lot of different areas is kind of where this is going.
At what age did you discover your love for country music, and what actually motivated you to pursue a career in the country music genre?
For me, I was in eighth grade when I truly like was like I wanted. I really like. I became very very obsessed with that type of country music with the Keith Urban and Rascal Flats and those type of things. I was in the back of a red van, I remember, with my high school girlfriend. And I remember just like Mayberry by Rascal Flats came on, and I was like, what is this? And just feeling how they brought the pop into that kind of country sound with those harmonies, it really kind of pushed a direction in my life. But at that time, I really focused on sports in high school as well, but I was in choir and things progressed. And I ended up going to college for, vocal performance. And then you move to Nashville, and my whole path was just based on kind of from eighth grade on. I was just like, yo, I'm in love with country music, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is the life I live. And as much as I listened to it before that, I really felt like there was a direction change in my life around that time to really fall in love with country.
You mentioned your mother. Did you have that family support to pursue your dreams in the music industry?
Yeah, my family has always supported anything I've done. Just unapologetically, just they've definitely just believed that if I said I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And it's like no, I moved to Nashville not knowing a soul, so I did everything, and I did it without a dime too. It's not like I came from any money or anything like that. So there was the moral support for sure. Uh, but everything else I had to create on my own, and it's been bootstrapped and then make connections and keep building. And I will out hustle anyone. I promise you that.
You've collaborated with some big time music artists, Sam Hunt, Blake Shelton, Carrie Underwood, and of course Mr. 305 Pitbull. And I think I know who your favorite one is. But what else can you share, from that experience, or what stands out to you collaborating with any of these artists on stage or in any way?
When you're saying collaborate, for me, I'm taking that as touring or open for, because I don't have songs out with those artists, but I have opened for those artists, right? I've been on tour with them and open shows and been in their world and around them. Um, I have collaborated on music with Pitbull, yes. And I do have features with other people. But yeah, from a touring standpoint and being around those people, honestly, everyone's unique in their own way. And I've had amazing experiences with, I would say, 99% of the people I've toured with. And the country format is a very close-knit group, and people really look out for each other and help each other out in this world. So I think it's amazing to see them bringing Latinos and accepting that and trying to bring that into the format as well. Because, like I said, like, once they bring that in, like people treat each other like family in this industry in a lot of ways. It's, one, as long as you're a good person, man, I swear it really can work out. There's some bad apples and they sneak through, but um, it doesn't last forever sometimes that way. That's not how you build a career. That's not how you end up selling out stadiums. Sometimes it is, I guess, but for me, if I had to pick, obviously Pitbull's been my favorite.
Yeah.
It's been some of the big I've ever played for. One time I did open for me, Pitbull. It was me, Pitbull, and Blake Shelton. That was the bill. That was the show. And even just watching, Pitbull's collabed with Luke Bryan, um, uh, Jared Neiman, Blake Shelton, Trace Atkins. He's done a lot of stuff in the country format that people don't realize over the years. Even, probably one of the first. I mean, in the last 15 years, he's done all that stuff. So maybe 20. And for me, like just seeing him do that stuff, it's absolutely amazing. And there's a respect for him in this town as well. And I think it goes both ways. I mean, he loves country music,
Mhm.
and I think that's super cool. So, yeah, obviously Pitt's my favorite. But everyone has been amazing to me and has given me a platform to get to where I am. If I don't open for those crowds for a Blake Shelton concert or for Carrie Underwood or Dan and Shay or Chase Rice or Sam Hunt giving me my first arena, if I don't open those shows, that that opportunity that they gave me, that puts me in an arena in front of people that don't know who I am. And they look me up after that, and I'm able to get fans. And they're allowing me to open that show. And just that, even if I never talk to those humans, just them giving me that platform and allowing me to be in that space, that lets people hear my music and my message. And that allows me to grow as an artist. So I'm super thankful to every single person.
Again, you shared a stage. You've collaborated with a lot of big talent right there in the music industry. I can't imagine for myself, not feeling the pressure or feeling stressed or nerves or feeling intimidated. How do you handle all of that working with these artists?
It's tough. I There's a lot of confidence that comes with this, and I just feel like being on stage is my favorite thing in the world. I grew up as an athlete. I think there's a lot of things that translate from being an athlete to being an artist. I think there's a lot of the same disciplines. There's that, can't stop, won't stop attitude. There's that like I'll win no matter what type thing. So no different than preparing for, you know, a game, a big baseball game. Let's just say like in high school, I played baseball, like no different than preparing for something like that. Those same type of nerves, but like there's just a point that kind of hits where it's like right before you hit the stage, you're like, I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the best thing that they've ever seen. You walk out with that confidence, and it just happens. I just perform, and things happen on stage. Things don't always go as planned,
Yeah.
but you adapt and you learn over time. And I've put in the 10,000 hours from songwriting to touring. I've done it, and it's like it just becomes a muscle memory type of thing. But then it's still the same amazing feeling, that high at the end where you're just like, it's the same thing as if I just hit a home run, in
Mhm.
baseball. It's that same, it's that thing that you just always want to keep capturing. So in reality, yes, it should be more scary being around such iconic people and opening. But for me, I think in a lot of ways, it felt like a test, a challenge, something I had to be successful at, and I had to give it the best. And I wanted them to see me come off stage opening that show and be like, "Oh, dang, I got to bring it now. He really brought it." I want to, a little competition. I want you to see me do what I do, and I want you to beat me. You know?
Yeah. So confidence and focus when you're working with,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Did any of the individuals, Carrie Underwood or Pitbull or Blake Shelton, offer any advice to you?
I've got a lot of advice from
Or from
Pitbull.
anybody. Yeah.
Um, it's hard to think of exact moments. I feel like it's not necessarily what's said. It's it's what's it's what you see, right? It's watching how people work. For me, I don't have a lot of interaction with Carrie Underwood. Sometimes you get to hang with people, sometimes you don't. It's just people are in different worlds. People are busy. There's interviews before shows, all those type of things. So for me, it's watching how their teams work backstage. Everything is an extension of the artist, and watching how the whole mechanism works at such a high level, I think is something that I've always been aware of. And I feel like that's how I've built my world around me, was watching, okay, I like what they're doing here. I like how they did the stage setup here. I like that these people are so kind. That front of house guy, wow. Like, okay, I like what they're doing here. And you watch these different pieces of a live show and how they operate backstage and how they introduce themselves and how they talk to people. And you're like, okay, I like that. I like that. Maybe I wouldn't do it that way. Boom, boom, boom. And I take those things and I try to apply it to who I am. And as I grow as an artist, I take little bits of things that I see. It's more of a visual, just always being aware of my surroundings and noticing those things. And I think that's where I've learned the most.
Can you name some country music artists that you would love to collaborate with, but haven't yet?
Man, I I still have like kind of avoided meeting Rascal Flats because I've been obsessed with their music forever, and never been in the same area as them. And I've had opportunities to be, but sometimes you don't want to meet, you don't want to ruin how you feel about a certain thing. It's scary to meet people that has shaped your music in a lot of ways. And Keith Urban's one of those people as well for me. And I'm just saying, in that era of what they created, it really helped shape who I was going to be. And I think Sam Hunt opened a door for everyone in this genre. Um, that was definitely something that my music lent itself to. And I think that without Sam, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today either. Um, and Sam's been amazing to me. Very thankful for him as well. But yeah, I feel like it just has to be. And I know it's not. I'm not giving you an older artist. I'm not giving you
Oh,
the true country thing. But for me, like Keith and Rascal Flatts were such an influence to me in those 2000s that it's I just think that, yeah, I think those two really just shaped a lot of my sound. I think that's where you see those kind of pop country influences from for me.
how do people learn more about you, follow you, like you, share your music? Tell us how to do that.
Perfect. You can find me, Fillmore, everywhere at Fillmore Music. So that's at Fillmore Music. That's one F and one L. Fillmore Music. That is my tag for everything from Instagram to TikTok to X, whatever you're using, Facebook, all the above. So, yeah, look me up, and I hope you've heard of me before. And if you haven't, I look forward to seeing you at a show.